Okay. So welcome again to Leveraging Digital Marketing. If we can hit the next slide to get things going. Well, they can still see the poll, I hope, at the same time. Awesome. Thank you for that. Again, I just want to let you know some of the housekeeping rules that we have, and I appreciate everybody being on mute. I know we'll have a chance. First of all, if you have any questions that you have, please utilize the chat box. You can send questions to the speakers. If you don't know, if you're curious about something, we'll go through that best as we can. But just to let you know, this will be recorded for future posting. And I got this backwards, right? I should read what I'm writing. So perfect. I wanted you guys to know about that. But anyway, without further ado, James, I'd like to turn the conversation to you, and if you can help us through the forest and the confusion world, at least to me, of digital marketing. I'm sure you can make sense of it all.
Thanks, Dennis. Hi, everybody. My name is James Hsieh. I am the CEO of Cybertegic. We're a digital marketing company that's located in Los Angeles. And it really is a pleasure today to allow me to share this information with you. As I see that currently in our economy, a lot of the small businesses are suffering. And one of the things that we can contribute to help these businesses are our knowledge in digital marketing. So without further ado, allow me to first go into my slides and share with everybody. One thing I wanted to thank ABA. ABA has a really strong group of influence to the community. And through the platform today, I'm able to share my knowledge. So I personally have been a member with ABA for the past 7 years already. It's a great organization, and I highly encourage everybody to join. They have a lot of webinar as well as networking information that helps small businesses. So very quick, a quick intro about my company. We're Cybertegic. We've been around for about 15 years. We focus on helping small business to grow online through digital marketing, and nowadays AI-powered digital marketing. We focus in the area of Google, YouTube, Facebook, and we're Google certified partner as well as Yelp certified partner. We're a full service agency with website content and website design capabilities. So that allows us really to apply our marketing knowledge with the in-depth understanding of the programming code to achieve the best effect for a website, web business. The 3 platforms that we specialize are Magento for e-commerce, Shopify for e-commerce, and WordPress for content websites. And we love to service 2 types of business. One is e-commerce and one is professional services business. And today's topic, we're going to be focusing a lot more on the stores and the professional service business, because I see that currently in the market, the segment that's getting hit the hardest are store. And obviously because many stores are currently shut down and they couldn't open. Same with professional service businesses. So sharing through webinar is our way to contribute back. And I have a full set of programs to share with you guys, but that will only take about 20 minutes. I will go through my slides. Today, what I want to try to achieve is that if you're in the segment of you either own a store, a restaurant, or you're in the professional service business, I want to help you understand how do you make sure your business gets found fundamentally. There are certain DIY steps that you can do it yourself and quickly to make sure you have certain exposures online. Second is currently there's a free support from Yelp, Facebook, and Google for advertisement. And I want to share some information with you guys and see if that applies to you guys. If you do, please do go out and get these free support, because currently in the economic condition, I think we need all the help that we can get from everywhere. And then on the third part, we have a very special guest from Yelp. Her name is Gina Drago. As I mentioned, we're a Yelp certified agency, and I've known Gina for years now. She's this wonderful lady that she has a lot of interesting information about the best business practices that she has seen from her clients that's happening during this pandemic period. I asked her to share that with you, and also to go into detail about how Yelp could provide support for small and mid-sized businesses. Okay. lastly, we want to share with different ideas how different businesses have pivoted successfully during this pandemic, and hopefully that will give you some ideas of what you can do for your business. And then at the end, we'll leave with a question and answer sessions. So let's begin. The impact of COVID-19. I want to show everybody some numbers, which is kind of scary numbers, but it is true. The unemployment number at any given time before this crisis was about 300,000 filing for unemployment jobless claim. When this pandemic hit us, this number starts skyrocketing. And as of today, we have over 33 million unemployment filing right now. Many of the business categories are falling dramatically due to the COVID-19. Kids closing, brewery, art gallery, coffee roaster, French restaurants, amusement park are suffering the impact of COVID-19. However, on the other hand, there are businesses that actually thrive in this environment. You know, this is a research that we seen online, and some of this business you guys probably are aware of already. Guns and ammo are selling like hotcake. People are afraid. There is fitness equipment and exercise equipment are selling like hotcake. And there's nothing better to do than to shape yourself up at home. Grocery delivery to your house is also doing well. Fast food, pharmacy, hiking, so on and so forth. One of the things that we see for sure is that the online activities are increasing. Right? For a perfect example right now is we're all using Zoom. And if you were to own Zoom stocks probably a few months ago, your stock price is already double. Okay? So this is a result of that. There's a trend of everybody going online and using online more due to the social distancing. Another interesting category that's doing well is video games. We have a client that actually sells gaming PC, and we saw their sales are skyrocketing because people are at home and again, like nothing to do. So they're either doing video games or they're doing TikTok. One last category I want to mention is that people are shopping online more. Amazon stock just climbed by 30% during this whole situation, outperforming S&P 500 by a lot of margins. So online shopping is a trend for people staying at home. Now, when I look at all this different research and different cases, one commonality that came to me was that this is the time to really pivot. I personally, I don't think we're going to find a cure soon in terms of like a vaccine or medicine. So the social distancing aspect of our life is here to stay for at least 3 to 6 months, or if not longer. We're being trained and being shaped to learning how to use technology and going online to do our work and to do our daily activities. So as such, we see a lot of successful business that has pivoted. They are embracing technology and embracing online to fit into their business model. So this is the time to pivot. And I'm going to give everybody some examples that I've seen. Many of the restaurants out there, they started to have very strong takeout manuals, or they sign up with delivery services. All right. Later on, I'll share with you guys an example of a restaurant here in Arcadia that actually are generating more sales than before the pandemic, because now they tailor directly to just takeout and deliveries. Doctors' offers. Now, if you look at their listings and their advertisement, many of them, if they're specialized in treating, let's just say detecting or testing for COVID-19, they would tell people that they do that, just so that they put awareness into people that they can provide that kind of services. Plumber is actually in hot demand right now, based on the data that we've seen. I mean, imagine if you're out there and no public restroom is open and the only toilet in your house is clogged, you need a plumber. You have no other choice. All right, so they are in hot demands right now, and we do see a lot of plumbers ads started to cater to those messages. And then lawyers. Certain field of lawyers are in demand too. As a matter of fact, we have a special guest today. Her name is Elizabeth Yang. We invited her here to share with you her experience in terms of how she had pivoted her business in during this pandemic. Now, cost saving is in the top priority on everybody's mind right now. Okay, so what we should all look for is that if you can provide services that can help business cost save and control costs, it should be in high demand in the next few months. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. One is mortgage broker. As everybody know that interest rate has dropped. Now it's dropped by a significant amount, almost over 1 point. If you were to refinance your house right now, your mortgage payment will drop significantly. So mortgage brokers, they're getting a lot of calls, a lot of increase wanting to refinance. We foresee businesses, because of the high employment rate, they're not going to be hiring full-time people. They're going to be outsourcing a lot of their services just to control costs until the uncertainty is over. IT for sure, outsourcing is in demand now as many people are working from home. So remote working or protecting homes infrastructures, making sure there's no ransomware or hackers in your network is important. Accounting services, we've seen that many are now being outsourced. QuickBooks had a surge of business of people moving accounting from desktop version to their online versions. So people are trying to go to QuickBooks online versions. And then of course the marketing, people are also outsourcing marketing too, instead of having in-house, a full staff in-house. Okay. So how do you pivot your business to get more customer online? This is the fundamentals, a couple of the easy things I wanted to share with everybody. Step one, be found online. Can your customer easily found you online? And you can conduct a very quick test to see if this is feasible. For example, if you own a store or if you're a professional service business, all you have to do is just go to Google and type in, I'm going to give an example. Let's just say you are an accountant in city of Pasadena. You want to type in Pasadena accountant, or if you're a lawyer, Pasadena lawyer. You want to see if your listings is showing up on top of Google or top of Yelp results. Okay, you want to be found online, especially for stores and professional service business. Although we could not go out right now, but you could still take on business and servicing your clients remotely. Stores, for example, like I said, if you change your model to delivery models, you could still take order and have Grubhub or Uber Eats deliver your product to the customer. In terms of professional services, that's even easier. You can talk on the phone, digitally send the files, so on and so forth. The two most important marketing channels for stores are professionals are these two. As I mentioned, Yelp and Google My Business. Okay, and the reason I mentioned here these two are because these two platforms has review capabilities. For people to trust professional business or deciding which restaurant to order takeout to, they wanted to see reviews. So they will either go to Google and then which Google My Business lists, they'll look up the review and look up the information, or they go to Yelp to look up the information. This is an example of a Yelp listing that you will see if you were to type in, for example, attorneys in Monterey Park area, you will see Elizabeth's listing coming right up. Right. So to help you prepare for Yelp, we want to make sure that your business listing on Yelp are clearly optimized. We actually created a 7-step, easy step optimization guide for Yelp for you to download. This is free. After this seminar, if you want a copy of this presentation along with the link, just go ahead and type in your email in the chat box. my associate Johnny will take your email. We will email you a copy of this presentation. And then all you have to do is just follow the links inside this particular slide to click on it to download this 7-step guide. Okay. It will take 1 hour of your time to invest in going through and claim your accounts, as well as optimize account according to the tip that we have in this business listings. But trust me, guys, it's 1 hour worth investing. It will help your business gain a lot more exposure and visibilities. The other channel, as I mentioned, was Google My Business, right? Equally, we have created a guide just for the sake of this seminar. But this guide is a little bit longer. It's a 10-step guide, but it's also free to download. Just make sure you follow the 10-step guide to claim your account and optimize your accounts for maximal visibilities. In terms of e-commerce business are not suffering as much as stores and professional service business right now. But the marketing channel for e-commerce business are social media, SEO, online PR, content, PPC, and email. Okay. If you're under a budget constraint right now, you will want to focus on SEO. Okay, that it will generate the best returns for you in the long run. Okay. Now, on the other hand, if you're very lucky, like I said, you're in one of those industries that your sales is actually growing in demand. You know, whether you're selling beers or food delivery, fast food delivery, exercise equipment, you actually want to also go through that optimization step that we show you in the a few slides. You want to get even more customer right now by advertising and take up more of your market share, because this is the time your service is in demand. This is the time to double down and capture more market share for yourself. Okay. So I want to share with everybody some of the free support from Google, from Yelp, and Facebook that you can look out for. From Google's end, if you have been advertising with Google for the past year, you're going to automatically see an ad credit into your advertising account coming up soon. I believe it's next month or in 2 months. Okay, Google is dedicating over $340 million in ad credit to clients that have already advertised with them for the past year. Now, if you're a nonprofit or a small business organization, Google also have a $200 million in terms of investment fund for this nonprofit. Now, I'm not too sure about the exact nature of investment fund. I have a feeling this is a loan, just like the PPP loan that they're going to be giving out. But if you're interested, do follow the link that I have in this slide, and then you can read more about it online. All right. Also, if you're also a nonprofit, there's a 15 million ad grant for nonprofit. This is money that you don't have to return. To contact Google and find out more about it. And lastly, if you're a government agency or in WHO, Google is giving 250 million ad grants to you guys to use to help out on this COVID-19 situation. Facebook. All right. Facebook has a $100 million small business grant program that you don't have to return, but you need to qualify for. This is for profit business. Nonprofit cannot apply for this. If your business is between 2 to 50 employees and you're located in United States, okay, you've been around for at least 1 year, okay, follow the link again in this presentation, okay, and apply, quickly apply. The deadline is tomorrow, May 8th. So if you're interested, do it today, and then don't miss the deadline by tomorrow. Okay. The last major company that I wanted to talk about in terms of free support is Yelp, which we hold dear to our heart. Yelp is giving 25 million in free advertising credit to restaurants and bars because they know these are the business that's being hit the hardest. Right? If you're in that particular industry segment, feel free to ask us or ask Gina, which she'll be on later, about this free advertising credit. Now, you're also, for a lot of businesses, you get to get what they call the free business page upgrade. If you're familiar with Yelp's profile, you'll see that there's actually a lot of features in there that you can use to enhance the exposure of your business. But many of these features in the past require you to pay for it. In trying to help the small business community, Yelp has made these features free for the current period of time. So if you're interested in those features, again, please ask Gina about it or ask us about it, and then we'll share the information with you. On the third point, if you're a restaurant that you do takeouts, you can get $100 in free ads to advertise for your business. And then you can sign up for delivery option with Grubhub. You teach classes, there's functions for virtual consultation and classes, so on and so forth. And then lastly, there's actually a feature to allow you to accept donations for your business with GoFundMe on Yelp. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to turn the stage over to our lovely Gina, who will share with you even more detailed information about what Yelp can do for you, your small businesses. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this back to our host and to Gina.
Okay, I am trying to see if I can share my screen. Bear with me. James, I might be hitting technical sharing difficulties.
Uh-oh, I will
have mine up?
Let me go. I can go find your presentation. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, it's asking me just for additional security. So I think I might need you to do it.
Okay, no problem. I will, give me a minute. Let me pull up your presentation, okay? In the meantime, everybody, if you currently have some questions for Gina, please go ahead and type into the chat room, or if you have a question for my staff, for me or my staff, type into the chat room right now, and then they can answer that for you while I'll pull up Gina's presentation.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and introduce myself to you while you're doing that. Thanks, James.
Sure.
As James said, my name is Gina. I've been working at Yelp for about 5 years. My exact position is I'm a partner director, so I specifically work with digital marketing advertising agencies, very similar to Cybertegic. The goal really today is just to go over some slides that give you a little bit more information about what James just chatted about, the free offerings, as well as just basic Yelp info you should be taking advantage of year-round, the products, what they look like, and especially how you can make sure that your Yelp listing is completely filled out. And then the last couple slides, we'll go over some options of what advertising looks like. If you're more interested in advertising, because we're barely hitting on that today, feel free to reach out to James or Johnny after this call, and then they'll be able to give you more information about what Yelp can do, more than just on the free services.
Hey, Gina, this is Dennis.
Hey, Dennis.
Hey, so I'm wondering, traditionally people know Yelp for like a search for their restaurant, right? But obviously you guys are more than that. So I'm assuming the thing that James said earlier, it applies for both professional service companies as well as traditional retail, or if you can clarify that a little bit.
Yeah, the bulk of the free ads and free profile upgrades we're giving to more the restaurants, nightlife businesses, just because we know most of those have been deemed non-essential, and their only service they can provide is delivery or takeout. So we've tended to support those businesses more with the free services. I am going to take you through step by step what every vertical can do with their business. So it should be at least helpful for pretty much any business that is business to consumer should be able to benefit from, the next 10-15 minutes that I'm chatting.
So I pulled your presentation up already, Gina, and then Bianca, if you can share the screen, and Gina, you should be able to take control from me.
Okay, view options. Great. If I hit Okay. I might still not allowing me to change slides. I'll just tell you when to change slides.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so we can, this is just our entry slide. As James mentioned, his Cybertegic is a Yelp certified ad partner. So they have a ton of information at their disposal, so feel free to reach out. But if we can just go to the next slide and we'll get this started. Hitting on what Dennis was saying, if you go back one slide, is that, I think we might, is regarding the demand on Yelp. So it's really important before we go into the details of how to update your page, it's just to really understand how consumers are using Yelp and how it can be a valuable tool for your business. We have about 100 million unique visitors every month that are coming to Yelp to find a business. Why is that so important for you as a small business owner? It's because 85% of those searches on Yelp are unbranded. It's that second box to the right on the screen. What an unbranded search means, it means that someone is coming to Yelp and they're searching for broad category terms like accountant, plumber, they could even be looking for roofer, solar installation, restaurant. People are rarely coming to Yelp knowing the business name. So what we are doing is really giving an opportunity to get your business in front of a lot more people. And not only are these users searching these broad category searches, but they're also really ready to make a purchase. So 97% of the searches on Yelp are converting into a purchase within the first week that they do that search. And 51% of those people are actually spending at a business that they found on Yelp within the day. And we can go to the next slide. This is just an example of search volume. So a lot of the times people associate Yelp solely for restaurants, when that really isn't the case. Yes, we do have a lot of search volume for restaurants, but people are coming and searching for Yelp for everything: lawyers, pest control, electricians, roofers, plumbers, HVAC, landscapers. I mean, it goes on and on. I don't even know how many total categories we have on Yelp, but the point is there's just a plethora of people searching for an assortment of businesses on Yelp. And we want to make sure that your business is listed on Yelp, has great content, has an opportunity to get in front of more users. So what I had mentioned earlier regarding unbranded searches is just a quick stat that 94% of the searches on Yelp are unbranded. So personal injury lawyer, I could go on with examples, but it's just really important to understand how people are coming to Yelp with their intentions. And then the next slide is a couple of more interesting kind of charts and the ways people have transitioned their search strategy during COVID. So as James mentioned, the demand for delivery and takeout has increased dramatically. You can see right about middle of March 15th is really when the shelter in place happened. You can see the surge and increase for search for delivery. The same thing as far as looking for online options for exercising. From February to mid-March went up 3x. So for instance, like I own a Peloton. I know one of my friends tried to buy a Peloton and I think it was a 6-week wait just because there was such a demand for people to be able to purchase equipment that they can use inside their home. Then as far as salons, this is actually an interesting, not just as much as search volume, but how people are interacting. So the majority of people who are doing searches for salons are actually converting as phone calls. So depending on your county and where you live, I know within California and Northern California, county by county, we're going to be starting to open additional businesses and by specific phases. So as people are starting to think of what I need to get done when I get out of here, whether it's get my hair colored, I need to go get a manicure, I need to get a pedicure, I need to get my Botox. Like these are things people are thinking about and already scheduling appointments. I personally already have scheduled a couple appointments for June. So people are starting to make these calls. So it is a good opportunity to make sure you're booking up your appointments sooner than later. As far as for people who are booking future appointments, as I just said, essentially 93% of the people who are searching for beauty and spas are converting to a purchase. So this is kind of what we talked about before, but I think the biggest thing to understand is 1.5 billion annual searches for beauty and spas on Yelp. So it's one of our highest search volume categories. That's just a funny little meme. I definitely, I feel close to. Coming out of quarantine, like, you know, we need to get our hair done, our nails, our eyelashes, our eyebrows, our Botox. So what I said, people are really looking to make sure that they're scheduling that next appointment.
Yeah, Gina, I want to share my thoughts with you. I mean, I think when this the lockdown's over, the first people's going to go look for is their hairstylist. Because
and nail salons, nail salons is the big one.
Sure.
So as we know, the demand for essential retail is realistically increasing, and this is talking about things like drugstores, grocery stores, medical supplies, pharmacies. So, you know, we've seen a 1.5x increase since January. This is actually really interesting, these next two slides. So kind of zoom in and see if any of these are specific to your offerings. So what we're trying to do is help people in these categories understand how they can pivot their business to accommodate people during COVID-19. So if we want to think about options that you have, so if we're thinking about if you own something like a gym or gym classes for fitness and wellness, you want to be able to offer virtual classes. Let's say it's beauty and spa. You want to make sure that you're scheduling for future appointments or even offering gift cards now. I know some of my clients are actually offering gift cards at a discounted rate. Essentially, it's spend, I think it's like $30 or $40 and you get a $50 gift card. So you can get a discount initially. So you have some money coming into the business and you have guaranteed appointments once you reopen. Things like bars and restaurants, you know, are selling takeout and delivery. Things even like automotive, you know, if you are a auto dealership, you're pretty much converting to delivering cars to people's homes, or auto repair is definitely still open. Another big thing for car washes, you could have segmented into disinfecting cars. If we go to the next slide, there's some other examples, but as you know, we'll be sending this information over so you can study it a little bit further. But even things like pest control is still an essential business. We've got plumbers who still need to come in. Retail is now offering curbside pickup. I've actually gotten quite a few emails from retailers, small businesses in the San Francisco district, where you can order online and they give you a window where you could pick up, even if it's things like a sweater, shoes, etc. Just pick it up in a safe way where people are wearing masks and coverings. The other thing we really want to make sure is we're thinking about the consumers and how we can work with them. So a big thing is we talked about delivery, takeout. For a business focus, you know, if they can't come into your office anymore, we want to think about contactless virtual remote services. So whether you're doing Zoom meetings with your clients, whether you're allowing them to do FaceTime, virtual tours, if you're a realtor or you own an apartment complex, like those are all the things you just need to pivot to at this point, because we want to make sure that we're giving customers a way where they're feeling safe to still work with you. So as far as a couple product adjustments we're making to support businesses are going to be the next slides. Our top priority is making sure that we're connecting consumers with great local businesses. So we have a lot of different ways that we're making sure we can still connect and make sure that consumers are updated on what's going on with your business. So if we go to the next slide. We're allowing each business to fill in and customize their own policy disclaimer. This is a customizable banner that appears on the top of your profile anytime someone finds you on Yelp. You can include up to 120 characters in the body and add additional details. So in the actual content, we're gonna allow 1,500 up to 1,500 words. But ultimately, it's things like if you're a plumber, you want to make sure you're alerting your customers about the additional steps you're taking for sanitizing, for self-distancing, those type of things. If you're a gym, you want to make sure you link people to your online classes. So it really allows you to customize this feature so anyone who comes to Yelp will be able to do it, to see what's going on with your business during this time. Then as far as the policy disclaimer, this is just more information, but it's really visible. Essentially, it shows immediately when somebody clicks onto your page. So we want to make sure you're updating all this information through your business owner's account. The business owner's account, if you've never accessed it before, it's biz.yelp.com. Essentially, it allows you to claim your business and update all this information. If you do not have a business owner's account yet, you won't be able to do any of this information or update this information. It's all free to have a business owner's account. So it's really important after this meeting, if you don't have that, to make sure you take advantage of it. Then we're thinking about promoting your business with business highlights. So if you look at the third bullet point, this is actually free for restaurants and nightlife businesses until May 25th. Depending on the situation with COVID-19, we might be extending that, but it allows you to highlight specific business highlights, and you can see them all online, that showcases the type of services you're allowing during COVID-19. So takeout, drive-through, delivery, gift cards, online classes, virtual estimates, mobile services. These are all things that you can do to operate your business and still make money at this time. And then if we go to this next slide, this is also free. It's a call to action banner. It is the little banner that's kind of popping out on the iPhone right now. It's a customizable feature that allows consumers to see whether it's a Yelp discount, if you want to advertise your mobile services, your appointments. It's going to be free for restaurants and nightlife businesses through May 25th. And again, if this does continue to go on a little bit longer than we thought, we'll extend that date. This is going to be a list of all the things we want to make sure that you're doing to update and inform your consumers. Number one, make sure you update your hours to let consumers know the status of your business. In some cases, businesses have cut down days of the week that they're working. So make sure you're doing that if you're updating that on your Yelp listing as well. Yelp also is integrated with Yahoo, Bing, Apple Maps, Siri, Amazon. So it's really important that if you update your information on Yelp, you're actually updating your information about 30% of the internet landscape. The next would be, if you just go back one more, sorry, James, to the list, is business highlights is an option. It's free for those specific industries I mentioned. For others, there is a cost to that. The call to action banner, which is number 3, we already went over that, where that's located. For 4, for your business attributes, this is a free feature for every business that you can update. You update that also in the business info section in your business owner's account. So for instance, you can see that this business offers delivery, they offer takeout, they accept credit cards. In this case, takes reservations. It's not really applicable because they can't allow people in. And number 5 is showing the specific COVID response, what we talked about later with the additional pop-up. And another important thing you could do is update your photos. Like, what are you doing specifically to make sure that you're taking into account sanitizing, shelter in place, a 6-foot distance, those type of things. The next option, if you go to the next slide there, James, is if you are a professional business or a home services business, I really recommend that you enable request a quote. It allows consumers to message you these qualified leads to your business directly through the Yelp messaging app. The only way you'll be able to enable this is if you log into your business owner's account, enable it, and make sure that you're responding to the messages when you get them. As you can see, it shows how quickly you respond, and it shows your response rate. This is where I mentioned where you can update your business attributes. So all the things like hours, business highlights, your amenities, it shows your health score. Do you offer delivery? Do you have vegan options, etc. These last 2 slides are just a quick overview of Yelp advertising. So all of the things that we talked about before are pretty much free features, especially the additional free features you'll get if you are in a restaurant and nightlife business. But the whole, what James had mentioned about driving more attention to your page is if you are open and you have the ability to take on more business and you see what you're getting from Yelp, and maybe it's not enough, or maybe you are getting business from Yelp, but you want more, a great solution would be to start advertising on Yelp. A quick overview is our ads are just going to show up above search results and on competitors' pages when people are looking for your service. So if you're a plumber and you're interested in advertising, we're going to show your business in front of all other businesses to give yourself a chance to be found more. And then the next product is our enhanced profile, which is a product to help with your brand consistency and to help convert your customers once we drive them to your listing. We want to make sure we're helping with your brand. You have the opportunity to control your photo content, so you can actually pick the order of your photos. We can host a video on your listing. You can also highlight new items or specials in the call to action unit, which is the number 2 dot on the phone. We can also focus and make sure that when we're driving users to your page, we remove competitor advertising. So they're pretty much only focused on your business and not gonna go shoot and look for someone else. These additional profile products are also, you can set them up on your own through your business owner's account. Or again, if you are interested in speaking about ads in more detail, just reach out to James or Johnny after this. This last part is ad goals. What essentially an ad goal allows is once a user has clicked to your ad, they can directly call you or click to your website from the ad. This is a really new feature, and a lot of businesses are really excited about this, because instead of people having to click to your ad and then click to your Yelp listing, you can just direct a direct click to call once somebody finds your ad. So it's actually a really exciting new feature.
I think, Gina, that's the last slide, right?
Yep, that's it.
All right, great. So let me turn back to my slide, and then I will let our lovely guest, Elizabeth, share her story with you guys. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So let me know if you guys can see my screen okay.
We're good, James.
Okay. So very quickly, I hope with Gina's explanation, you guys can see that Yelp is very integrated in helping the store and the professional business out there. And right now in our community, the hardest hit is these stores out there, physical stores are out there that's being shut down. But as you can see, through resilience and quick pivoting, we've seen some very successful examples of people that integrated their business and leveraging technology to actually turn the situation around. As I mentioned in the beginning of the webinar, there's a couple of restaurants down here near where I live, Asian restaurant. When the pandemic hit, they immediately created family meals package to offer to the community. And since now everybody's at home and kids can go to school to eat their normal lunch, these family meal becomes super popular. And they actually went from a 67% down in terms of revenue into 40% more sales than they were before the lockdown. So quick pivoting is a very important concept to grasp, to see what you can change your business service to service your customer. One more example was we have a client that sells plastic cup. When the lockdown begins, he was doing millions of dollars in terms of plastic cup, and his sales was down 70%. But the business owner is very resilient, and immediately he pivoted to selling masks by sourcing masks from Asia to help the doctors and nurses in the front line. And as a result, his business actually went up by 90%. Right? So the next, I have a very special guest. Her name is Elizabeth Yang. She's also a member of ABA, and she has successfully pivoted her business. She owns a law firm, and she successfully pivoted her business in this pandemic. And I'd like her to share her exciting story with everybody. All right, so without further ado, Elizabeth, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, James, for inviting me to be here. It's an honor to share my story with everybody. So as James said, I'm an attorney of the Law and Mediation Offices of Elizabeth Yang, and we specialize in multiple areas, including intellectual property law, business law, family law, and estate planning. So before this pandemic hit, we've been doing a lot of advertising already because we know how important advertising is to any business. As maybe some of you guys have heard that, in the first 5 years of any business, you're supposed to be spending 50% of your net income on advertising in order to brand yourself in the community and bring the customers to you. So, our business has been around for more than 5 years now, so we don't spend 50% on marketing anymore, but we still spend a big chunk of our net profit on marketing. So prior to the pandemic, we were focused a lot on newspaper ads, radio, yellow pages, and also restaurant placemats. I don't know if you guys have seen, but when you sit down at a restaurant, you see those restaurant placemats in front of you. And when you're eating, if you're bored, you can read the advertising. And we got a lot of calls with the restaurant placemats. Well, obviously during this quarantine, there's no more, you can't sit down at a restaurant anymore. Very few people are going out picking up the newspaper. So we had to pivot our entire marketing onto just mainly online and social media. So I used to do Yelp advertising and Google advertising already, but since the pandemic, we've doubled our Yelp advertising. And just so you know, as a Yelp advertiser myself, I know there's a lot of rumors out there that say that, oh, if you advertise with Yelp, they will filter your reviews, or they'll take down your reviews if you stop advertising with them. Well, from personal experience, that's not true at all. I had my reviews up before I started advertising with Yelp, and then now after paid advertising, those reviews are still up, and I'm getting even more reviews. Also, like for Yelp advertising, I would recommend having, if you're a business with multiple locations, advertise in all your locations. So for example, our law firm, we have a location in Los Angeles in Monterey Park, and we also have an Orange County presence in Irvine. So right now we're advertising in both locations, because when someone searches for a divorce attorney in Orange County, very likely our Monterey Park location is not going to show up because we're not close enough to them. The sponsored ads that show up on Yelp is mainly relevant to their location and their geographic area. So if we don't want to lose out on those Orange County clients, we have to advertise in Irvine. So right now we're advertising in both Irvine and in the Los Angeles area. That way, no matter which client is searching, they're going to find our office. And then in terms of business areas, we've noticed an increase in our family law practice, because during the quarantine, you've probably read the news articles, and it is true, the divorce rates are increasing because couples are not getting along at home. And so, or phones are, ringing off the hook, whether it's in the daytime or at midnight, people are just fighting with each other. So we've shifted our marketing to mainly family law. Because that's what people are looking for. We're not doing as much intellectual property work anymore, because people are not as interested in patents and copyrights. We're also doing more increased marketing in estate planning, because a lot of people are wanting to get their wills and trusts created during this time, because there's so much uncertainty and unpredictability. So they want to make sure that assets are taken care of. So I recommend all of the business owners out there to shift your marketing as you see fit during the pandemic, and also the different areas. There's so many ways to shift your business so that it caters to the market that currently has a need. And I encourage a lot of business owners who haven't had a Yelp account, a business account, to create one. My business coach, Calvin Chen, I see him in the list of audience members here, and he never had a Yelp account, and he just opened a Yelp account this week, and I was the first to review his Yelp account. So now when people search coaches on Yelp, he's going to show up. So anyone who does not have a business Yelp account, go to the site that Gina mentioned earlier, biz.yelp.com, and create your Yelp account, because you're going to get a lot more business that way. And just from the survey earlier at the beginning of this webinar, it shows that 100% of the audience members here are searching on Google, nothing else, just Google. So that shows how important Google ads are. And I would say like more than 80% of our clients finding us today are all from Google and Yelp. You know, before I'm a client of James of Cybertegic. So before I, hired his professional services, I thought I can do it myself. I'm like, I'm tech savvy, I have an engineering background. I can go, and create my own Yelp ads and bring in clients that way. Well, I created my Yelp account, without professional help. And then I got a bunch of irrelevant hits. Like I was getting phone calls for personal injury cases when that wasn't even one of my, areas of expertise. And then after James took over, I don't know what he did, but I just say, let the professionals handle it, because now I'm getting tons of clients. They're all relevant, and it's, paid back the marketing dollars, double, triple, quadruple, like, a lot. So it's definitely worth it. Don't try to do it yourself. Just let the professionals handle it.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks for that wonderful recommendation. But thank you for sharing that insightful story with all of us. It's a perfect example of how no matter what business you're in, you can try to pivot and find a need of the current customer right now and cater your business to it. So again, thank you, Elizabeth. That was a wonderful story. Okay. And then I'm going to turn the stage back to Bianca. Okay. So guys, allow me to summarize very quickly. I hope today's takeaway was that this is a time to pivot. In our industry right now, the social distancing is here to stay. We're going to be very accustomed to doing activity online. So we're going to be using a lot more Zoom and video conference. We're going to be shopping online. So you want to be found online because your customer is going to be looking for you. And if you're a store or professional business, the first thing you want to do is go claim your Yelp account, go claim your Google My Business account. They're free. Just follow the free guide that we gave you, optimize your account with the right keyword so you can get the maximal visibility online. If you are fortunate in those industries that your business is in high demand, you actually want to advertise and grab more market share right now and get the attention towards you. Okay. Now, in our presentation, you also see there is free support from wonderful companies like Yelp, from Google and Facebook. Okay. Utilize those resources to support your business. We're in this for at least another 3 months. Everybody needs to control costs and then needs to find additional customers at the same time. So leverage those free support for you. And lastly is remember, pivot fast. Okay, you can successfully pivot your business to survive this pandemic. All right.
Great. Well, thank you very much, James. Again, great information, great timing as always. I really want to take the moment to thank you. And folks, on this, there's a little reaction button there as well. If you can just kind of the round of applause silently, I know we can't do it verbally, and that's another way we can mimic the thank you. And so James can see that you clap if you're so inclined to do so. But really want to take a minute to thank you and for your time, as well as Gina, as well as Elizabeth, to taking the time to come on and share this valuable information. At ABA, we really try to give you and over-deliver that value in terms of coming on. I think James gave you a nice playbook, right? Like, if you really want to DIY it, yeah, you can digest all the information. But I think what Elizabeth is saying, sometimes you let the experts be the experts. But, depending on your situation, if you want to stab at it, I guess we're saying that there's ability to do so. And thank you very much for letting us know your emails, and we'll follow up with everybody as well. I just want to recognize some folks on the call, on this line as well. I know some of our board directors, other than James and Elizabeth. We have Jim Song on the line here, as well as Queena. One of our advisory council, Aura McCracken from NBC Universal, also joined us today. So thank you much. Thank you for coming on. I would be remiss if I did not recognize Karen Ng. Karen Ng is the chair of the National Asian Chamber. She's also conferencing in from Chicago, the great state of Illinois. I didn't do that. I did that right. But thanks for carrying on, Karen, as well. As you know, we have a lot of things in the pipeline to help our businesses. Do consider joining our association as we move forward. Just go to a website, there's a button, push on it and get on. But I think you have some homework, everybody. I guess with Google and Yelp and Google both, there's some things to do. Without any further ado, I only also want to thank Bianca and V today, our staff, to putting all this together. And then we'll see you in a couple of weeks on the 20th and then the 21st as our event. With that, oh, we have a poll. Last thing, just to, we want to get that up and running. Just as you exit, it would help us to get an idea of your thoughts behind what we do. And it helps us shape the program as well. And yes, I missed Chewy. So Chewy, thanks for being on as well. As you did the poll, we'll leave the chat on. We'll leave this thing on. If you wanted to chat with other folks you haven't seen in a long time, like I noticed Steve Choi was on. He's a past 4 director as well. So there's a couple of folks. We'll leave this chat on if you want to connect with other folks, so chance people can network as well. And James will be on for a little bit if you want to. They want to facilitate some questions as well. Gina, hope you can stay on just a little bit as well. We hope that can happen. But thank you so much on behalf of ABA. Thank you for your time, and we will see you real soon. Bye-bye now.
Thanks, Dennis. So yeah, we're here. If anybody have any questions, feel free to just ask away. And Bianca, if you can unmute everybody, I guess then they can. If they have questions, they can talk to us. But Dennis, thank you for such a wonderful work. That was so unexpected. Thank you.
I think it's just way too. It's way too.
Right?
Yeah, and so Gina, you're in San Francisco, right?
Yep.
All right. How's the weather up there today?
Very nice. Yeah, we're gonna hit a couple of nice days. Yeah. There's more people on the street.
Yourself? I think Jim wanted to hear your thoughts on social media. Oh, you type back to him. Okay.
Oh yeah, I guess I can just talk. So
yeah,
yeah, I do all my Facebook, Instagram, all my posts by myself. But I've never done Facebook ads before. And this pandemic is what has me, looking at the Facebook ads, because I've been a victim to many Facebook ads and made a lot of purchases. Looking at Facebook ads. So I know they're effective from personal experience. Yeah. So Johnny from James's team is helping me get those Facebook ads started.
Yeah. No, I'm guilty as well. I get suckered into buying some of the things on Facebook and Instagram because they really know how to target my interest, because basically I tell them what I'm interested in. So
yeah, they're just like watching your every click and whatever you're searching, or saying, they're listening, and then it just comes up on the ad. Yeah. And I've noticed video ads help a lot too, because when I get a video ad at just a few seconds and I watch it, I'm more likely to click it than like a stagnant ad. So I'm going to probably start doing video ads myself.
True. But one thing I began to watch out for is that if I click through the ad and I see it's a website without an address, and the ship time is 3 weeks, I know they're from China. And the scary thing is, if you purchase those things, there's no return. If something goes wrong, you don't return. And sure enough, the 3 times I made a purchase for something from overseas, what I see on the photo and what I got is too different.
Yeah, there's funny people who post some funny what I expected to get and what I actually got.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to be careful. I think nowadays you can spot which of the ads are like the ones that are shipping from China, and they come in, it's bad quality. So at least the credit card companies are pretty forgiving. Like if you file a dispute and about quality, they're pretty good at reversing the transaction.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually,
I always
I
search
didn't
to
try
see if
that.
there are any reviews or Better Business Bureau on the individual ads before I purchase too on the company.
Mm-mm.
And then I
I
always
would,
go on Amazon and I look for a similar product and look at those on Amazon.
but yeah, I would say Facebook and Instagram are pretty effective if you know who you want to target. But Gina, today there was a lot of good information that I see in terms of the feature that now Yelp is giving for free. I did not, some of the features I didn't know. Did they just recently came out with some of those features?
The free ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for restaurants and nightlife, just because they've been taking the biggest hit.
Yeah.
Like Yelp Connect, call to action, and what was business highlights, and additionally some free ads. Are just going to be really helpful for those type of businesses, just because when you can't have anyone dine in anymore, or in the case for certain bars, clubs, they can't even deliver food, so they're in a very unique situation.
It's very interesting. When did Yelp got connected with Grubhub for delivery options?
So Grubhub purchased our delivery company. It was called, gosh, what was it called? Eat24. So they purchased that. I think it was for, I want to say 265 million, something like that from us. And maybe a year ago. So that's how we have a direct connection with them.
Got it. That's a great marriage there. I usually go out to Yelp, and the way I decide what I want to eat, I just look at the profile photo of the restaurant, and then see what is the best food.
Yeah, I'm big on the photos for food, that's for sure. I'm less concerned about the reviews. I'm more concerned about the photos when they're open, the menu.
One thing as a Yelp business owner, I have to be pretty quick about responding to messages on Yelp, because every time I respond, it adds to my response time, which is public on my account. And I know as a consumer, I look at how quickly a business responds to see if I want to contact them or not. Because everyone nowadays, they're like, if they want something, they want it now. They don't even want to wait like half a day.
Exactly.
So if a business owner, if you're not like me, like I'm always on my phone, like checking every message, getting rid of all those, red exclamation marks, then get an office manager or, operations manager to respond to the message.
Yeah, if you're going to have the feature, it's like you need to be on top of it. So it's adjusting exactly what you're doing, Elizabeth. Your settings, we understand people need to sleep, so we don't expect you to respond in the middle of the night. Those hours only take into normal business hours. And if, let's say you have a bad month, 30 days later, if you fix it, you'll be fine. Yeah, I just sent a pull request for movers, and I would say I got all of my requests back in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're fast. So you're saying at nighttime, those response times aren't taken into account?
Yeah, so let's say somebody messages you at 11 p.m. and you don't respond until like 6 or 7 in the morning. We're not saying that's an 8-hour response time.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah. I was always worried about because we're getting a lot of messages at like odd hours, when couples are fighting at night. Yeah. And I'm always like, oh man, this is going to kill.
Yeah, just respond when you get up in the morning. Don't get out of your REM cycle and respond.
That's good to
know. Somebody just put in a chat regarding getting the reviews deleted.
Oh, the review. Shall we address the review question, Gina?
Yeah, I mean, in this type of one, open forum, not
it's always a hot topic.
But Elizabeth, just as you were saying, with that, just a common misconception about Yelp and advertising and reviews, just has been out in the, small business atmosphere for so long, and it just kind of precipitates over time. But I mean, those who actually use Yelp, use it responsibly and run a good business, just have great Yelp listings. I think a lot of the time, sometimes people just don't want to take responsibility for their own actions.
Yeah. So in relation to Yelp reviews, I know that if a business owner sends their link directly to a client, those reviews get filtered more often. So if you want to get a review from a client, have them go on Yelp and search you organically, like search your business name and the city. And then if they do a review, then those reviews will stay on more frequently. In response to Joseph's question, so you can't just go and delete reviews because otherwise all the business owners will delete all the negative reviews and everyone will be 5 stars. But what you can do, and which is what I've done, is you can go and review Yelp's guidelines really carefully. So as an attorney, I'm really good at, deciphering every single word. And then you can report the negative review to Yelp and say, okay, look, this review violated your guideline because, and then have a really good argument in there. So one of Yelp's guidelines is that you can't advertise another business. You can't promote another business in a review for a company. So if the review mentions any other business name, you can report that and say this violates this guideline of mentioning and promoting another business. So there's a lot of ways to report it. And the people at Yelp, they're all human beings who are reviewing the reports, just like a judge. So if you put in a good argument, then they'll buy it. So it's really how you word the reporting.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on that. So for Joseph's question, the content guidelines are listed on our support site. So you could just Google, just if you want to do this right now, Yelp reporting a review, and it will give you our support link and show you the reasons that we would take down the review. So basically, in what Elizabeth said is, yes, you can't promote other businesses in a review. There can't be any slanderous content or about the business or about a specific individual employee. If it's obvious that it's a competitor business or an ex-employee, that would also be grounds for removing the review. If it's not your own personal experience, is grounds. So if you're speaking for someone else, that could be grounds for the review being removed. One thing is Yelp does not take sides on he said, she said situations. So if it's not a pretty clear violation of our content guidelines, the review will realistically stay up, but there's still an opportunity to respond to the review publicly or privately.
And I want to share a tip with everybody who have stayed this long and after the webinar is over. Remember, you cannot ask for a review to your customer. That's against Yelp policy. But one thing you could do is have your customer check you out on Yelp online. That you can ask them to do. You cannot ask them to give you a review. You can say, hey, you can check out my Yelp profile online. Okay. And if your customer likes you enough, when they go to their profile, they probably will leave you a good review. Okay. But you just can't ask for it.
James, when you say check out, are you saying like they check into the business on Yelp?
Correct.
Yeah.
So when they visit your office, you can ask them to check in, and you could give them like you're a lawyer, you could give them a white paper or something. Say, hey, check in. I got a really good information white paper for you, but just check in for me. And then I believe Yelp system, if this is their first time visiting your store, Yelp will send them a request for review on their own after 24 hours. But you just can't ask your customer directly.
Yeah, I mean the main reason behind that is we just don't want to generate biased content in general. You're going to only ask customers who had a good experience to write a review. You're not going to ask a customer who had a poor experience to write a review. So we liked Yelp to be an equal playing field for all businesses. But yeah, there are a lot of great ways to help encourage reviews, whether it's embedding Yelp on your website, making sure you have a Yelp widget, including that in your emails that you send out to your clients, whether they're prospects or clients that you've already worked with. Setting up a check-in offer is great. Having Yelp stickers put up in your office. If you are a delivery vehicle driver, you can put Yelp stickers or Yelp quotes on your van. I mean, there's a lot of creative ways to make sure that Yelp is top of mind, and it'll encourage people to write a review more subconsciously versus outwardly asking them to do it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Really good tips. Okay, so I think we got all the questions answered, guys. And Gina and Liz, thank you guys for joining today's webinar. I think this is very helpful. I see that there was 47 people from beginning to end, I'll stay
That's a
with the
good.
webinar.
Okay.
They're really intrigued by the content that we can provide and help this community. So good job. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. So I'm gonna log off, and I see Dennis say hi to, thank you guys for staying with us. And then if you have any questions, feel free to email us directly or contact Dennis for our contact information if you don't have them. All right, I'll log off and I'll see you guys later.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.